Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of our live season. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about how your reality is not your future. So I feel like the reason why I want to talk about this topic is that I have been trying to figure this out for a very long period of time because I know this episode is gonna ruffle some feathers. Like some of you guys might not agree with it, some of you might think that it's delusional, but this is my perspective on things, okay? So I feel like a lot of times we operate based on how we think like our future should be like, but then we actually base it on our reality. So what I mean is that, for example, whenever we think about our future, whenever we want to dream, what comes up, right, is always I can't do that because of, my current reality. Whatever situation that you're in right now, I feel like a lot of times as humans, I think it's very normal for us to just judge our future based on what we currently have because that's exactly like our reality, right? It's something that you can't change in a sense. But what I want to actually tell you guys is that, or what I've actually found out was that whatever that you're seeing in your current reality is based on your past belief. Okay, so I'll say it again. Whatever that you're seeing right now is based on whatever that you have believed or like the beliefs that you have in the past. So this is a very interesting concept because when I first heard of it, I'm not sure where I heard of it, but it's more of I think it's probably like the books that I read or like the podcast in general. I've read it somewhere. And when I read that, it changes a lot of things for me. Because then I realized that what like my possibilities, like my future, my capabilities is not based on whatever that I'm capable of right now. Okay, so I know it may be a little bit confusing, but essentially what I'm saying is that, we are kind of programmed to think that we can't really dream big or we don't know what's the possibility of, the future because all we have right now is our current reality, right? I feel like for us, like how our brains work is that whenever we try to think of the future, we will want to back it up with the evidence. So it's very hard for us to actually think past our current reality, which is very normal. But I feel like this is one of the things that everyone, like I would hope that everyone would understand and would learn, is to be able to put aside your reality and look beyond your reality because for the future, like the future is always unknown, right? And I think like that's the most interesting part is that you can actually think about or desire whatever future that you desire just based on your imagination. Let it flow, let it be creative, let yourself be creative and not be restricted to, but it's not going to happen because of my current reality, right? Like I mentioned, your current reality is based on your past belief. So if you were to carry on the same belief that you've carried on for the past few years, the past few months or past few weeks, it's gonna be the same because nothing changes when nothing changes, right? So if you're not going to change your past belief, your reality is going to just repeat itself because nothing changes, nothing has changed. But if you start to change this narrative of telling yourself that, whatever that I desire in the future is just a dream, instead of thinking of it that way, tell yourself that today, at this moment, I'm gonna change my narrative and I'm gonna believe that whatever that I desire is gonna come to me because I'm favored by the universe, I'm favored by God, I'm favored by your higher spirits, whatever that you believe in. I feel like when you start trusting and when you start believing that you are favored by the universe, that you are the universe favorite child, you start to live life as if you start to act as if. I think that's one of the things that is so 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 important when it comes to manifestations or when it comes to life in general is to act as if. Because like I mentioned, if you don't change a single thing in terms of mentality or in terms of your actions like today, few years down the road, few months down the road, you're still gonna live the same life because nothing changes, right? Nothing has actually changed. But I feel like growth happens whenever, we learned life lessons through the things that we've gone through, like obstacles that we've faced or just situations that we are put in, right? When we go through such a thing, we learn a new lesson. And that new lesson changes our mentality, right? But I feel like when it comes to dreaming of the future or dreaming for your future in terms of, how it looks like for a lot of people, I feel like we tend to be stuck in our reality. We tend to continue this loop of like, because I don't see it yet, so it's not coming. Because I don't see it yet, it's not possible. But it's actually really funny because if you think about it, it's supposed to be the other way around, right? You have to feel into the feelings and act as if before you actually start feeling it. So for me, what I actually found really helpful was that I start to visualize the future me. I start to visualize how I would act, how I would speak, how I would, dress up, how I would feel. And all these are really important. They are key to manifestations, because manifestations is not just about sitting down and just saying that, I want to manifest this certain amount of money, I want to manifest this significant other, I want to manifest whatever that you want to manifest, and just sit there. So I feel like it comes with actions, yes, definitely. But the most important part is to actually feel into it. Because for me, what I found really helpful when it comes to my manifestations, when I look back at things, I realize that whenever I manifest something, it's because I truly believe in it. Like there is no doubt that it's not gonna come to me. It's gonna come and it's coming. That's it. Like period. I'm not gonna question it. I don't question it because I know, like, full body with my entire body and soul, that it's gonna happen regardless. So I think that's when I release control of the outcome. I start to really enjoy life a little bit more. So when I do that, I have full faith and I trust that the universe is going to deliver, and I do my part in taking action. So I feel like this is like a really good balance in terms of desiring, manifesting, and then taking action, right? So I would say that, but whenever you are stuck in your current reality, I feel like that is when you find it really hard to take action. You'll just be doing the same thing over and over again, because we are so stuck in our current reality that we are not creative in finding different ways to make things happen for us. I feel like it's just human nature in general. So if, let's just say right now, you are stuck in, or you have this idea of like, oh my god, it's impossible, or oh my god, that's delusional, then I would say that instead of thinking of it as delusional, I don't like to, as in, I feel like delusional, this word, right, it's really stigmatized in a sense where it becomes so negative. Like, being delusional is a negative thing. But to me, being delusional is never is not negative at all. At, at least for me, I feel like it's so much better to be delusional, because being delusional means that you can live the life that you want to live, that you can actually do things without regret, or you can actually put aside all the fear that you have of judgments. Then I would say just be delusional. If someone calls you delusional, then this is my response, that at least I get to live the life that I want to live. I get to live in my own little fantasy and one day make it true, because I believe in my capabilities so much that I believe that it's gonna happen for me. It's gonna be my future, right? I feel like when you step into your future self, and when you make decisions from your future self, that's when changes happen. That is when you open yourself up for more possibilities. You're more lighthearted. You are, in a sense, forward looking. You're living in the future that you want to have, the future that you desire so much. Because if you live in like your current state, your reality, things are just going to be the same or even worse, right? You get sucked into this whole concept of like, this is my reality and this is what it is. Because I hate the feeling of thinking that this is how it is and this is how life is gonna be, right? Full stop. Like, I don't like it that way. I'm a very creative person, I'm a very imaginative person. And I feel like that has really helped me a lot in terms of, dreaming about how my life is gonna be like, how my future can be like. And sometimes this leads to, people saying that you have really high expectations or you're just being delulu, right? I think recently there's this TikTok post going on that is so funny, that is so trendy, because everyone was talking about how, may your dilulu be trululu, right? I feel like this is so interesting to me, because I feel like there are two groups of people. One side of people who don't believe in manifestations. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that there's two different types of people, two groups of people, and one side, they kind of like, joke about being delusional. They joke about manifestations and stuff like that. Those are not my type of people, but I respect and understand that, manifestations, this topic is really, not everyone really gets it. But for me, I'm still on my journey of like, manifestation. So there are things that I have not manifested. There are things that I have manifested and want to continue to manifest. So, I'm still on my journey and this is just my opinion. And then there's another group of people who, believe in themselves of like how their future is going to be like. And I hope that you are the second group, because honestly, if you think about it, there's no harm in thinking or in being delusional. Because what's the worst that can happen? That you are just brought back to your same current reality, or you have not moved past anywhere, which I don't believe. Because whenever I've spoken to a few friends and I've seen people who are open inverted labeled as delusional, even for myself, I feel like, there are people who would look at me or who would hear whatever that I'm trying to manifest and be like, oh my god, she's so delusional. And that's fine. Like I take it as it is, and I take it as a compliment because being, like I mentioned, being delusional to me means that I get to live this fantasy life that not many can. Because one thing that you realize is that a lot of successful people or people who the society deem as successful, they were always taught, not taught, but they will always say that they were delusional first. You know, like I can tell you that there are so many people that we know of today when they first started having that idea, you know, when Steve Jobs first started having Apple as an idea, when Mark Zuckerberg started having this idea of Facebook, I can tell you that people thought that they were delusional, right? Because last time, like many years back, being on a plane is not possible. Flying across the globe is not possible. Like people will be like, oh my god, what is that even? Right? But today, right now, like it's so common. So I would say that an idea that you have when it's not, when it's not per se open invited successful yet, people would say that it's delusional. Whatever that it is, whether or not it's your dream, whether or not it's your desire, whether or not it's what you want to accomplish in life, people will always tell you that no, you're being delusional, that it's not realistic, right? But I say that if you trust your capabilities enough and you trust the universe enough to know that they are gonna deliver for you, then I would say take the action and you'll be guided along the way. So that's one thing that I always truly believe in. I feel like it has helped me throughout my entire journey of really manifestation and just life in general, because I'm able to live the life that I live today. I'm able to be this happy and able to be this carefree because of my mentality, because of this mindset of, my reality is not my future. I do not, whatever that I'm seeing right now today, I do not take it as it is what it is and it's gonna be me, it's gonna be my future, it's gonna be like this forever, because I know that at every single moment, every decision that I make can change the way I live my life, can change the trajectory of my life. And I've always believed in this and I've always seen it, it's proven, right? Whenever I feel stuck, I would say that, okay, right now, I choose to tell myself that right now I'm stuck in this current situation. So, how can I change my mindset or my actions so that I'm one step closer to my future? That's why I say it's so important for you to live and make decisions from your future self. That's why meditation is so important for me, at least guided meditation. When I every day I start my morning by sitting down and just really closing my eyes and visualize this favorite self, this higher self, whoever that you want to call her or him. Visualize this person, like how would she or he make decisions, like what is she wearing, how is she feeling, like how would she talk to people, right? What are the certain words that she would use, or what are certain words that she would not use? How would she carry herself? I feel like when you start to visualize this version of you, this future self, you start making wiser decisions, right? You start making more informed decisions, because then you know what it takes to get there. So you kind of reverse engineering the whole entire thing, right? Instead of thinking about, my current reality, how am I gonna get to my future self? Think of yourself as you are already your future self, and you are already living the life that you want to live. So how did you actually get there? So I would say that instead of looking at the mountain, just think of your future as a mountain, right? Instead of looking at your mountain from the bottom up and be like, oh my god, the amount of stairs that I need to climb to get to the summit, think of yourself as being at the summit already and just reminiscing and remembering what it took for you to get there. So when you think of it that way, it's so much easier for you because you know that you're already there, right? It's just what actions you're gonna take to get there. That's all. It's not like when it's the question is not whether I'm gonna get there or not. It's more of like I'm already there. So how did I get there? So instead of like questioning yourself and your capabilities, your abilities, start questioning the steps that it took for you to get there. Right? So I think that's when, like, I would say the questions that you ask are really important as well. Right? Like I don't ever encourage anyone to be caught in a situation or to be in their current reality and ask like, why am I not living the life that I want to live? Why, like, person A, B, C, or D can live the life that seems so easy for them to reach, but for me I'm like struggling, right? Why this, why that? Like, why can't I live the life already? Why can't I manifest this already? Why isn't my manifestations coming? Because I feel like whenever you don't get what you want, there's two ways of looking at it. one is better things are coming your way, things that you can't like if are above your imagination and above and beyond imagination. Two is that it's something that you're currently, thinking about, whether or not it's your mentality or whether or not it's your actions that is stopping you from getting there. So there's only these two reasons why, right? And I feel like, tap into your intuition and ask yourself whether or not you have done the work. Because if you have done the work, then I would say that release control, because you're probably holding on to like the outcome and the result so tightly that it's so hard for you to see other possibilities, right? So I would say that let go of, release the control of, how you want it to be, and just enjoy the process. So like I mentioned in the previous episode, I feel like enjoying the process is one of the most important thing when it comes to any journey in life, whether or not it's business journey, whether or not it's your career, just life in general. I feel like as long as you enjoy every single step of the way, and as long as you really do like just want to have fun, right? Go in anything on this mentality of like, I just want to have fun and see what comes out of it. I feel like you're gonna come out of it so with so much more like fruitful experiences and lessons that sometimes you'll just be amazed at how life is like. You allow the universe to actually surprise you with the things that is beyond your imagination. I feel like that's the most important part. Okay, so I would say that, like, if you are still stuck in your current reality of like how you think that whatever is the end in terms of like where you're at right now, the situations and the circumstances you're in right now, I would say to really try your best to think about it this way, right? To tell yourself every single day, make it a point to tell yourself that your current reality is not your future. My current reality is not my future. I can change it anytime with any decision that you make. Even though it may seem really, really small, like certain actions may seem really small or certain decisions that you make may seem really small, but trust me, it's gonna like accumulate into something bigger without you even knowing. Okay, never ever ever belittle the little actions that you take in life, the little decisions that you take in life, that you make in life, because they are all gonna mount into something so much bigger than your imaginations, bigger than whatever that you can actually imagine for yourself. Because trust me, I've been through that and I know it way too well to know that I never ever want to look at my reality and be like, this is it. There's nothing that I can do. Because there's always something that you can do. Whether or not it's to tweak a little bit of this or to tweak your mindset. I feel like start from your mindset and the actions will just, takes its course. Because everything starts from a thought. The thought will then change the way you feel, and then your feelings will actually change the way you act. Okay, and then your actions will then create your reality. So one concept that I want you to take away from this podcast episode is that to know whatever that you're facing right now, whatever reality that you're seeing right now in your current situation, know that it is because of your past belief or your past mindset and your past actions. Then that's why you are seeing all this doubting, like not all this doubting, but all all the realities that you're seeing right now. Because to change your future, what you gotta do is to change your current way of doing things or current way of thinking about things, the current way, the current words that you're using. Change all these things, and trust me, your future will be so different. Because I can give you an example, right? Like I used to be someone that is so hard up about money. Like money is my priority. Of course, like my family has always been my priority, but I'm talking in terms of like putting things in hierarchy form of like what is most important aside from family. Money has always been something that is my main focus for the year, right? Like I want to earn more money, I want to be able to manifest more money, this certain amount of money, and it's never enough. Like I've never actually felt like it was enough, right? And I had that mindset of whatever that I do in terms of business or whatever that I have passion for, whether or not it's baking, whether it's fashion, whether or not it's designing, it has to earn me money in some sort of way. So whenever I approach certain things or certain business ideas or certain ideas, I would always turn it into something that needs to make me money, right? Like whether or not it's making decisions for my social media or whether or not it's just creating content, right? I would be so stressed out over the fact that I need it to be profitable. And this mentality has not gotten me anywhere, right? I was at a point where by, few months down the road, I don't see results. I was constantly stuck in this loop of like, okay, starting a business and then open inverted failing it because I wasn't seeing results from it. And results, I mean, earning me money. And I'll start another business again, and then the same thing would happen again. Until the day that I remember reading this quote that, you can actually change your reality, and your current reality is based on whatever thoughts and beliefs that you have in the past. That was when it clicked. I was like, oh my god, that is the reason why I feel like I'm in this constant cycle of repeating the same thing over and over again. Like starting a business and then failing, and starting a business and then failing. It's because of the mindset that I have. Like, what the more I want to earn money from that whatever business idea, the worse it gets. Because I don't actually enjoy the process. I don't actually ask myself what is it that, I truly enjoy doing. Everything was revolving around money, and that whole like energy just kind of drains me so much emotionally and mentally. And yeah, of course it's not going to go anywhere, right? Because my business runs based on my emotion and my mentality, my thoughts and stuff like that, right? It's just me. So I'm the foundation of the business. So that's why if the foundation is not strong, which is me, when I'm not strong mentally and like emotionally, of course it's going to crumble, right? So I think when I started changing that from, that lack mentality of that it needs to earn me money mentality, to being able to just see what I enjoy doing, especially for this podcast, right? And it took me 2 3 years to understand and to finally be able to grasp this concept. And I can tell you that it's really life changing, because right now, like, I see even more results than ever just by posting whatever they want to post, just by doing whatever that I feel called to listen to my intuition and be like, you know what, it doesn't really matter what the outcome is, but I know that it's going to bring me closer to my desired future. And lo and behold, I am very, very close to what I desired, for my future back then. Like, if you were to talk about, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the Wen Yi that is like dreaming about her future life, I can tell you that I'm literally 70% or 80% close to where I want to be, right? I wouldn't say 100% because there are still things that I'm working on, of course, and we are all on this journey of trying to work through certain things in life and get closer to our open inverted goals. Because I've never actually believed that, once you reach your goal, you'll just be stagnant. You always want more, right? But I say that knowing that and balancing out with the fact of like just letting it flow the way the universe wants it to flow, and let just living life filled with purpose, but at the same time letting go of the fact that I don't need to control the outcome. Whatever outcome it is, I'm super grateful. The lessons that I've learned, I'll bring it with together with me. And if things don't go my way, it's fine, because I trust that something better is coming. I always like to tell myself that it's this or better, it's this or better, it's this or better. And this mentality has really actually helped me a lot. So that's why I think in this episode I want to talk about this topic. And I feel like it's so important for anyone, even if you're not doing business, right? Just in life in general, whether or not you are in the corporate life, or you're a 9 to 5 worker, or you are just doing your business, whatever it is, it applies to any aspect of your life. So I would say again, never ever 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 think that your current reality is fixated. It's not gonna change, because it can change when you start to change your mentality, when you start to actually believe that by changing little decisions that you make in life, by changing little actions that you take every single day, it's going to change your future, right? Just know that your current reality is based off your past actions, your past belief, your past mindset. So when you change all of that, trust that your future is going to change, because I'm a living proof, and I can tell you that there are so many people that are like that. Okay, so if someone were to call you delusional for that, I would say that, it's your choice of whether or not you want to be sharing with only your closest friend and not just anyone out there. But if you are okay with sharing it, or you want to share it with the people out there like I do, like I am a sucker for sharing, and just sharing anything and everything that's on my mind. But I know that, and I do accept that, there are people that are gonna call me delusional, and that's fine, because I don't see delusional as a bad thing. Like I mentioned in my very first few episodes, that whatever words or whatever meaning that we attach to words, you can always change the meaning. It doesn't have to be how the society says it to be. I don't see things as negative, I only see lessons learned. Same thing, call me delusional for that, but that has actually served me in having this mentality and having this lifestyle that is so much more enjoyable and happy for you, because there's honestly no point in trying to be open inverted realistic and living a miserable life. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today's episode. um Feel free to let me know what you think, whether or not you are the delulu team or whether or not you are just the more realistic team. There's no right or wrong. Like I said, this is just my opinion, and I hope that this new concept is applicable to you, or you feel like it's something is interesting. So yeah, like that's all for today's episode. I hope to see you in next week's episode.